Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is The Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games and a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Motorsport Manager. I'm into week 36 of the competition. Right away we can see that I'm finally out of the cellar when it comes to the car. We're up to 7th best, and we are no longer the worst in any category. We have a new suspension part coming out in a couple of days. We've definitely made some progress on the car. We're one day away from our next race in Doha. We just have 3 races left on the season. Our balance is still looking really good, though it is a bit negative per race right now. And before we get into it, the Global Motorsport Association is meeting. This time we're going to be discussing whether engines can be developed. And I am definitely for that. And it looks like a lot of us are for that right now. Four votes for, 1 vote against, 5 undecided. We really only need to pick up 1 to 2 votes. And I have 2 voting power. I'm only going to use 1 of those. I'm going to hang on to 1, as I think this is going to be in the bag. Let's see if I'm right for doing that. There's an abstain. That's already. And with another abstain, that should just about lock it down. Yep, that's going to do it. Oh no! Oh! Well, okay. That didn't work out. I should have used my vote. We had a double vote there against. So most of those who were undecided ended up going against. We had no additional votes for. Just the 4 that we already had locked in. And everybody else went against. So a bit surprising there, but it happens. So we will not be developing engines next season. Now, even if I had used my extra vote, we actually would have been level. So that still wouldn't have guaranteed that it would have gone through. And now I have a dilemma. Let's see. Hi, Decathlon. I've heard a few rumblings from some of the mechanics that they're not very happy working in the factory. They do have quite long hours. What should I tell them? Let's see. I suppose let's give them a bonus. $500,000 is plenty compared to what we have in the bank. Alright, so as things are coming along, the car is approaching a light green, starting to get itself out of the yellow. The headquarters is the only thing that's still lagging behind. That has been at max speed for a long time, but it takes so long for those upgrades to occur that it's constant catch-up. Alright, so we're going to look for 3rd or above, and I'm not sure if we can grab 3rd or above. But why not? We'll go for it. Double check that the parts are the right ones on the car at this point in time. Okay, suspension's the only one that I'm really worried about, and okay, just slight change there, given to Freeze. A +3 over Verline. Estimated race position is 13th and 18th for Verline. That's where we're still lagging behind. We're getting more and more competitive, but we're still not quite there yet. Alright, so we're heading to practice. Get our setup going here. Looks like we're going to need more downforce. And of course the medium tires. Okay, we needed that more downforce. It looks like we're also going to need to adjust the gear ratios. So we'll go back here and adjust that. While they are never identical, always relatively close. And then of course we'll set up the weight stripping. Okay, that's everything down to 80. And that's everything down to 80. Okay, race trim. Oof, they're both set on qualifying trim. That's not good. Just lost 10 seconds of practice time total. Looks like almost 15. And it's a long track, so it's going to take a long time to get around, which means this is going to hold us back on getting that setup locked down. I'm trying to get those bonuses with the length of the laps, especially if once we do hit level 3, we have a lengthy wait at some point. Alright, Verline, one big bonus there. We are already nailed down the handling, and speed balance is great, so it's close. It's just the downforce that's poor, and that's by far the easiest one to lock down over time. Speed balance. Boy, I'm not sure. How about we go with downforce and then we'll try that. So that keeps handling right where it was. It does change the speed balance ever so slightly. Alright, DeVries not quite there. We'll add more, and see where that gets us. Okay, we'll get them both back out there. Verline coming in, DeVries coming in. Wait for them to get around. And here they come in. Alright, Verline is very close. 97% now. Okay, without even moving, he's gone from excellent to great. And speed balance did hit great. So handling needs to move just that hair to the right. And then downforce is just about on it. So okay, that's way too much adjustment, I think. Hold on, let's try this again. Okay, move that a little bit more. And I want this to shift. We'll try that. Take a little bit longer. We've got both of them very, very close here. 99%. You know what? We're going to take that. He's going to run with it and go collect some race day bonuses. Verline's not quite there yet, so we'll keep an eye on Verline. Oh, nice. We nailed it down. Okay. 98%. Everything's listed as excellent. Alright, we're halfway between level 1 and 2, so no changes yet here. Next change will hit as we approach level 3 bonuses, and there's level 2. Okay, coming around another lap. Getting close here. Now let's see. DeVries is the one that's further ahead at the moment, but I think I'm not going to quite get there this lap. So that's the feeling I'm getting right now, which means it's going to take one more lap around, and I might as well have DeVries do that, and then we're going to bring in Verline. So Verline's going to switch over. There's only 2.5 minutes. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get level 1. And I was right about them not getting there yet. Alright, so switching to the qualifying trim and putting on the soft tires. Okay, now my goal is to get DeVries in this lap. Just about to hit those bonuses. There they are. Okay, so we'll bring him in. Get him switched over. Alright, so job done on race day. Let's see what we can do for qualifying now. Only a minute left in the session. Qualifying. And switching to the softs. That's the time. Looks like DeVries never made it around. I don't think I hit a bonus there. Alright, well, third's not going to happen for qualifying. No bonuses. Dang it. Figured we'd at least get one bonus, but no. Alright, I'm going to wait a little bit here. There's not going to be any rain. It's Doha. I think they've got it set to like 0% chance of rain for this track. So what do we need here? Tire choice. I'm going to use the used tires. That way I still have 2 sets of fresh tires for the race. So I'm going to use the used tires for this first lap. It's my new tactic. That way, just in case, I've got 2 sets on race day. Alright, this is a long lap around here. There's going to be a slowdown here. Okay, getting around that corner, back on the gas. Get those tire temps up. A little slowdown, but not much. Here's a big slowdown. Big braking zone. Speed up. Another braking zone. Okay. And it's speeding on up, speed it up, speed it up. Big braking zone. Speed it up. Come on, tires. It's taking a long time to heat up here. Okay, come around, slow down, and get back on it. Get back on it. Get back on it. Never did get those tire temps up where they needed to be. And the brake temps constantly were wanting to jump. Alright, freeze. Same scenario, get on the used tires. These runs are actually barely used. Alright, we're gonna have to actually run hot here. Okay. Back and forth, back and forth. Getting a little hotter this time by running hard. Okay, there we go. This is the big section. Come on, get those tires up. Get those tires up. And slowing down, slowing down. And get them up, get them up, get them up, get them up. Ah, still same problem. And it looks like it breaks right before the end of that sector, which just shot the brake temps up, so I've got to slow that down before the end there next time. Alright, let's speed it back up. Verline is slowest right now by half a second. And time running a little bit low. This is a long track. Lap's taken over 1:50 to complete. Verline, I'm going to have to get back out there here pretty much right away. Need to make sure I put them on fresh tires though. DeVries goes 14th fastest. It's a little better. I'm not sure if he's going to have enough time to get back out there though. Alright, so Verline's got his fresh tires for this lap. We're going to go for heavy speed, and slow. Okay, heavy speed. Let's push it. There it goes. Those tire temps already coming up where they need to be. Now it's going to be more about maintaining things. Okay, he's very hot at the moment. Cool things down, but those tires are going to come down real fast if I don't stay on them. Okay. Alright, well, tire temps are perfect. Oh, shoot. I didn't get DeVries. There's not enough time. He's not going to get around, so DeVries is done. So Verline gets one more attempt. I don't know what time DeVries came back in, but he missed out. Verline, green first sector, green second sector, green third sector. He moves up to 7th. That's good. Real good. So getting those tire temps right made a huge difference. Even if the brakes were still a little hot, Verline much better second lap. Right, on to race day. I need 3rd to collect the bonus. Not a big deal. But we're going to have 30% worth of bonuses. Car setup. Had the wrong tire there. Okay, we've got the mediums. The softs are there for a just in case. Okay, and driver strategy. We want to push, at least on the first lap, try to get ahead. Weight stripping's already set and ready to go. We head on to race day with Matsushita and Ray Hall, top 2. That's been pretty typical this season. I think 7th might be actually the highest starting grid position that I've had in a long time, at least this season anyway. And with the whole reverse order start, great start from Verline as he goes inside 3 wide and gets up to 4th place after the first corner. Meanwhile, De Vries is 16th as of right now. Verline trying to make a move around the outside for 3rd. Can't make it stick, but he's got another shot here and does go 3rd, but let's see, what is that? Mazepin? No. Yeah, Mazepin does try to remake a move, but Verline finally gets it to stick as we're halfway through the lap, and Verline is running fantastically in 3rd. I can already get him to back off, which means he's going to be left with plenty of fuel here for quite some time, and fresh tires to boot for a long time coming. Let's check in on De Vries, who has worked his way up to 12th, though he loses a position there. He's still got the inside chance to retake it and potentially gain another position. Can't make that one stick as Sergio Seti Camera remains ahead of him, but he gets him there on the inside of turn 1. So De Vries now in 11th. We need to get him to settle down though, otherwise those tires are just going to be toast in a hurry. Verline still holding on to 3rd, checking back in with him real quick. He's lost Matsushita and Tench. They've pulled away a bit, but Verline sitting in 3rd is the position we need him to be in. We are great in the pits and definitely stand to gain something there, and most likely are facing a one-stopper today. De Vries, meanwhile, is sitting in 11th position and gets to the inside there to move up a spot ahead of Delatraz. Actually just lost a 2nd spot to Giotto. Next up for De Vries as he takes the inside again on turn 1. Can't make it stick though. Trying to get ahead of NATO. NATO blocks the inside there as he goes. De Vries has definitely got more pace than some of the cars ahead of him. And NATO's actually on the soft tires too, so he's not going to last too long before he's going to have to pit, though he's actually better on tire wear at the moment than De Vries is. De Vries' pace is definitely good. There we go. De Vries to the inside of Rahal. Really, Rahal has dropped that far back after starting 2nd, and De Vries gets to the inside of him to go up to P9. Verline still running in 3rd, almost 2 seconds ahead of Mazepin at this point. Oh. Back off. Back off. Conserve those tires. Rays has been hovering right around just below. Tires being hot. They are a little above optimal range, but I'm okay with them being where they're at. I'm not okay with Verline going hot there though, so going into conserve mode, he is slowly backing off, but his pace is still holding up well. Two cars ahead fighting for position are NATO and Savanin. Could take advantage of that, possibly. Got a run there on Savanin for a second, but Savanin was able to block him, but not this time. He's going around the outside though. But can he hold through turn 2? And gets the inside for turn 3 and completes the pass. So De Vries up to 8th place now, with Verline still hanging on to 3rd, though he is down to 1.2 seconds a hold of Mazepin in that conserve mode, and has lost a couple more seconds to Tench as they continue to pull away. Again, not looking necessarily for a win here, but a podium finish, 3rd place would be fantastic and worth quite a few points for the championship. Alright, Verline nearly out of the red. De Vries has been pretty steady, just a little bit in the red. With a little gap to 7th, I want to get out of the red though, so... Oh gosh, the moment I go to conserve, Savannah gets the position back. That was pretty poor by De Vries there. We only backed off slightly, and he seemed to have backed off a lot. I stepped back up here in the turns to follow and may yet get the position back. Alright, before he loses too much ground, let's get him back onto neutral. Now let's go check in on Verline, still holding a bit of a gap over Mazepin. It's down to a second. But he's been on conserve mode for a few laps now and is hanging on nicely. In terms of fuel wear, they are both still plus 13 laps, so they've got plenty of fuel. And in terms of the tire wear, the one that matters a bit more, they're both in the high 50s as we're here on lap 7. They should be able to get to lap 13 on these tires, theoretically, and in terms of tire wear, I think they might just about do that. Alright, lead is starting to open up a little bit for Verline here, back out to 1.3 seconds. De Vries has slipped down to 10th, but let's speed things along for a little bit as things have kind of settled into the race for a bit here. Both dropping under 50% now here, halfway through lap number 8, and tires are back to good optimal range, so we're gonna put you up to neutral. You have heated up a bit. Let's check in. Tench has pitted, coming back out on track in 4th place, so Tench only drops 3 positions. Lap number 9, De Vries still in 10th. If Tench can go the distance, Tench would definitely be the favorite to win. I'm not sure if Tench can go the distance at this point. City Camera has pit in. And comes out on a used pair of softs. So it's going to definitely be one more stop for City Camera, and that's going to keep them way down in the field. So De Vries is 9th at the moment. Both cars in that 33% range. If I'm going to get at least 2 laps out of one of these cars and then 3 out of the other, it's going to be tight, as we are definitely low on tire wear for that. We're going to have to run them a bit longer than I would like. So Verline currently running 2nd, 13 seconds adrift of Matsushita. So really, Tench and Matsushita are already putting themselves out of range. But Verline hanging on for a chance at a podium. But we're really going to have to get at least one more lap on this run, as Verline's down to 28% on those tires. 12 now, 13 to the end. Appears to be a tall order. But I'd really rather risk losing a few seconds here and at the other end, as 6 seconds is a lot less than a pit delta. De Vries, meanwhile, has inherited 8th spot. A number of cars have pit now, most of them on softs, meaning they'll almost certainly need another stop before the end. Markelov, first one to pit that came out on mediums, other than Tench, of course, but Tench pit quite early in this race. Now lots of cars starting to come in, as De Vries has moved up to 6th. Verline is going to have to come in this time. So let's burn whatever you got left on those tires, and let's bring you in. Try to get you to go to the distance on those. And that means we also need enough fuel to go the distance. Park condition looks good. Take just 11 seconds on the stop, and it should take about 25 seconds in all on and off pit road. DeVries, I'm going to try to get one more lap out of DeVries. And let's go ahead and go neutral now that we're back down to optimal range. Verline is in the red zone. There is a potential for danger. Let's go ahead and see how we're doing as Verline's getting ready to come around for the pit. And Verline is in on pit road. Looks like Matsushita is also in. Good stop so far. 10 seconds, so 1 second faster than expected. We'll go neutral here. And you have excess fuel to burn, but let's go neutral for now. And meanwhile, DeVries only slightly ahead of Verline at this point. So quite a gap between them, surprisingly. I did just notice that pit stops aren't as bad here as they may seem. Due to the pit exit, the way that's set up. So it looks like we're set for an 11-second stop for DeVries. And DeVries will come in this time. Let's go ahead and set that all the way up. And let's speed it up a little bit, at least until we come around towards the pit lane. Heading to the front stretch now. And DeVries in for his one and only stop. He's going to have an easier time making it to the end than Verline is. And fueling done. 10.1 seconds for his stop. And we'll get him set to neutral and to medium. They are neck and neck when it comes to fuel. And DeVries comes out right in the middle of the pack in 9th place. And everyone has stopped now. So every car has stopped. Verline is back in place at 3rd place, 6 seconds ahead of Mazepin. So that good, solid pit stop, quick in and out, has really helped Verline. DeVries, meanwhile, has also picked up 1 spot through the pits, getting out ahead of Savanin. And DeVries is definitely good to go to the end of the race. Verline, a little bit closer. There's a lot of cars that will have to stop a second time. It looks like NATO, Peugeot, and Seti Camera are all going to have to stop. Seti Camera's actually going to have to stop pretty soon here. Savanin just moved ahead of DeVries, so he's passed me for a second time on the track. Actually, a 3rd time, because I passed him once, and he passed me back. No, I guess that's 2 for him, 1 for me, right? DeVries still duking it out at the moment. Let's go ahead and turn up the mode a little bit to help maintain that position. As Savanin looks to be good to go to the end of the race. So that is one position I would like to keep. Giotto behind him is probably going to have to pit again. So I'm less worried about him. DeVries loses that spot again. Back off for now. Save that fuel. 10 laps remaining. And let's get a fuel check right there. It's 1.25 extra laps worth of fuel at this point. And DeVries is a bit less at 1.1 laps worth of fuel in excess. That will last quite a while, so in another lap or so, I'll go ahead and up the engine mode again on both cars. Verline looks destined to hang on to 3rd, and let's go ahead and speed it up a lap. we'll get that one more lap out of the way and then turn up the mode. Okay, both cars approaching the hot zone, so let's try to get them back down towards optimal and then check back in with De Vries. Steady Camera has just made his final stop of the race and is well out of contention now. De Vries, meanwhile, has traffic behind, but traffic ahead, so his pace is just a hair slower than those around him. But the 3 cars behind are all on soft tires, and will have to pit soon. Okay, so as they move past, which they aren't able to really hold it. They're challenging him, but they're not getting past. Now, Rahaal's the concern, because if Rahal gets ahead, I think Rahal might be gone for good. Giotto just pit in, so he's done. He's out of it. De Vries stands to gain 1 more place, so I could be looking at 3rd and 7th. Ideally in this race with 7 laps left to go. Just check back in with Verline. Looking good. See where we're at on that excess fuel. 1.22, so it's barely coming down. So yeah, we'll keep them both on this mode for a long time coming. And tires are just about cool enough to go back to neutral. Alright, Verline's lead is down to about 4 seconds. Tench is pitting. Tench is pitting again. Verline, I don't think Verline's going to get ahead of him. I think he's going to come out ahead. No, we're just ahead. But Tench is on a fresh set of soft tires and has far more pace than Verline. I don't think Verline's going to be able to hang on to 2nd place here. Especially with 5.5 laps to go on medium tires that are at 50%. Stay with him for a little bit as he tries to hang on to 2nd place. Like I said, Tench is going to drive right around him. Most likely anyway. Go a little faster here. 5 laps remaining. Still just over 1 extra lap worth of fuel. And for the moment, Verline's actually hanging on pretty well. De Vries has moved up to 8th. NATO is probably going to have to pit here real soon, or is going to lose a ton of time if they try not to. And Verline's actually hanging on over Tench at this point. And there goes NATO into the pits, so De Vries picks up 7th place. Like I said, I was predicting a 3rd and 7th place finish. We've still got a pretty good gap over Rahal that actually seems to be opening a bit. Meanwhile, for Verline, 3 laps remain. And plenty of fuel. The final lap we should be able to, or even lap and a half, we might be able to go into the highest engine mode. Matsushita is way out of reach. A 3rd would still be phenomenal, but 2nd, of course, would be that much better. Two laps remaining. We're going to go into attack mode. And overtake. Savanin is about 2 seconds ahead of De Vries. Okay, now we'll go into overtake here. And it's the final lap. Okay, tires are under 20%. We'll attack with whatever's left on them. Actually, you know what? That's not a good idea. It really runs the risk of getting taken out of the race. I'd rather have third than a DNF. All right, second for Verline. De Vries gonna hang on for sixth. So both cars one position better than expected. Verline surprisingly was able to hang on to his lead over Tench after Tench's extra pit stop. Was definitely surprised by that one. Very surprised by that one. This is going to pretty much secure things for the season. We are not going to get demoted, so we have successfully done our task for the year of not finishing in last place. De Vries even picked up a point, and Verline's going to get some very valuable points with a second place finish. So 7 points in all. Nearly added a third to our points total for the entire season. So Verline now up to 10th with 13 points. De Vries dropping behind his teammate with 10 on the season, so they both reached double digits. That's 23 points for the team, and that, I believe, moved us up ahead of Racing Engineering and Trident, or both Tridents. We added 7 points. We were at 16 going into this race, so yes, I think that moved us up past all or most of them. I think we might have been 7th before, or 6th. Top 3 are out of reach, but to come into our first season, and if we can hang on to 4th here in the last 2 races, that's huge. I was saying that 13 was my goal, and we're at 23 now, so that's good. Very good. Successful season. We've got 2 races to go. I'm going to do the next one off camera, and then we will meet back for the final race of the season as I wrap it up and try to secure a strong future where we can compete and get into the big 3 next season and start consistently having top 6 finishes. Meanwhile, in the World Motorsport, aka F1, Verstappen got the win. Perez was second. Giovinazzi is third. Meanwhile, Russell, Vettel, and Mick Schumacher rounded out the top 6. George Russell hangs on to a 25-point lead over Perez, and Red Bull has a 20-point lead over Mercedes in the Constructors. Quite some distance behind is Scuderia Ferrari, while McLaren and Toro Rosso are doing quite well there. Prima and Sauber are now tied for 9th place with 9 points apiece, with just a few rounds left to play. It's going to be tight on who gets relegated, as Haas looks pretty clear to be the one heading back up. Haas has 24-point advantage at this point, so that's more than 2 race wins, not excluding bonus point or not counting bonus points. Alright, well, that does it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe. And tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.